Hello everyone, welcome back to Rolling Solo. My name is Adam Smith. We're going to continue our Deep Madness playthrough, starting off with just a few minor corrections. One correction that's really useful to actually change up is where I put this spawn marker. I actually should have put the spawn marker inside the room. I didn't even see it from how far away back I am from the table. It's quite a ways away from me. I didn't notice the black barrier there, but it would make a lot more strategic sense to have the spawn marker in there so that we could potentially block it off. So then I'm just going to rotate these around. There's no impact on gameplay. It's just something that one of the individual viewers noticed in the last video, and I wanted to make sure we change that around. Another thing that we missed in the last video was that Felicia actually took a damage by being next to a putrid when it exploded, so I should have put 1 damage on her. So that's going to resolve the 2 things that were mentioned in the comments from the prior video. Let's start off this part number 3. So we're going to go ahead and move this token along the Devour track, and it lands on this space right here. So let's find out exactly what that means for this scenario. Oh man, we are so lucky with this one. So this one actually, based on the scenario, would put a -1 energy token in room number 30 if we didn't have 3 energy in there. If we had 2 or 1. So basically anything less than 3, it would have actually put a -1 in there. So we're really lucky that we were able to get 1 of the energy tokens on there to avoid that from triggering. Also, there will be no tiles devoured during this particular devour phase. We still have a spawn to deal with, and you can see here we need to pull 2 spawn cards and resolve them. So here we go. What are we going to get? We got ourselves, oh no, guys, it's happening. We've got our elite monster coming into play, the Substance. The Substance is only 1 miniature, but it is a massive one, and it's going to be in spawn point 6, which is going to place it right here, which is attached to the orange or red, I keep calling it orange or red because really it can go either way, entrance marker, which is just off camera right here. So this is going to come through this route and pop out over where the putrid is on our level. I'm going to show you guys where that currently sits. So once the Substance makes its move later on and activates, it's going to be wandering through the lower halls. It's going to come through the orange or red marker, and it's going to pop out right here and wander its way in. It's going to seriously gum things up, for sure. So with this spawn card resolved, we'll discard that, and we'll go for our next spawn card, which is going to be Hysteria. We're going to have 3 of them coming into play, 1 of them in the first room that we pull, and then 2 of them in the second room. So the first thing I need to do is go over here to my deck, and I need to cycle the 6 to the back. So this next Hysteria, 1 of them, will be going into room 29. So let's find where that is on the game board. That's slightly unfortunate, so that's going to be right here. Ugh, not good at all. So 1 of them will be going there. Now we're going to go ahead and cycle the room to find out what the next room is. It is 4. So where is 4? Because it's getting 2 of them. Ah, 4 is where we moved the spawn marker to at the beginning of this video. So we're going to be taking 2 of them and placing them inside the room here, which is able, they can, at this current point, they can actually get through that easily, but at some point along the line, we could close that if it was beneficial to us, whether we want to protect ourselves in there and hide, or if we want to actually trap some monsters in there and hope that they don't escape. Now we're going to go ahead and start the activation, and wouldn't you know it, Substance is numero 1, which is not good at all. So we'll be skipping past this card, and bam, Substance is going to be activating. So what does this thing do? Well, first off, it does its special. So its special says if there are less than 3 monsters on this card, choose a non-epic monster nearest any investigator and place it on this card. Okay, interesting. If there are less than 3 monsters on this card, choose a non-epic monster nearest any investigator and place it on the card. Then move Substance directly to its space. Oh no! That's what it does. It literally sinks out of its current position and kind of works its way through its own goo and pops up on the other side of the board. That is really bad. I think it makes the most sense to have this thing pop up right here where this guy is. Yes, I would be able to kill this guy later on, but you know what? If I can get the major monster to sit in the middle, it's an area where my guys can fight and don't take any devour effect negative kind of effects from those. So in other words, these little tokens that are sitting in all four corners, if I'm fighting them in any of these areas, I can take, I'm either taking damage or I'm losing cards and sanity hits, all that good stuff. If I drop the monster straight in the center, though, I'd actually be able to avoid all that. And I can choose what I want to do here. So I'm going to have this monster replace with this monster. So just like that, it didn't matter how far away it was, its special brought it right into the mix with the investigators. So I want to make sure that there's complete clarity there with the monster. I actually thought, quickly off the top of my head, that the other monster would actually replace itself to where the other substance just came from, but actually this monster will go onto substance's card. So really what it's doing is it's going to be molding and moving through all the enemies and gaining strength off of all the ones that it builds from. So it's kind of a really disgusting thing that just kind of sucks in everything it uses, and actually you have to defeat these things if you want to try to kill substance. So it says monsters on this card, like this guy here, must be killed before substance can take wounds. At the end of the activation of each type of monster, substance is activated once if there is a monster of that type on this card. So there is some big strategy here with which miniature or which monster we choose to have substance consume and get close to us with, because it says at the very bottom, as I just read, monsters on this card must be killed before substance can take wounds. So we know that we have to kill this thing. But it says at the end of the activation of each type of monster, so every time we activate a monster, if there happens to be that monster on the substance card, then substance is going to activate once if there is one. So we're not going to want to have substance activate again. We're going to want to get rid of this thing, and the only way to have that happen is to ensure that we kill it before Ravenous triggers, which is quite a ways down. So we should be okay. So it was a good choice to bring this one in, not only for its substance's location, but also it'll be easier to kill this particular creature and hopefully get straight through damage on substance. The next thing substance is going to do is move, but at this particular point it doesn't need to. It is literally in a zone right now, and it already has a target, and that target is Felicia. So that's kind of a little bit sad for her, but she's going to be the target, and this thing, I shouldn't even say it's a he, it could be a he, she thing, I don't even know what it is, but it's going to attack at this point. So at this point what's going to happen is Felicia is going to be taking 3 damage. She's going to try to use her resistance in order to stop that from happening. So we're going to take 2 dice and we're going to roll, hoping we can block any of this damage. We got 1 of it blocked, so that's good. So she'll only end up taking 2, which is still a decent amount. So her 1 that she took at the beginning from the prior video when the putrid hit her is now up to 3, and she blocked 1. It would have been 4. All right, so she's still kicking along. She's got 8 health. She's still fine, and we are now done the activation of substance. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to Jarod Drake. So Jarod obviously spins around, noticing a gigantic creature in his space. He's got 5 actions to spend. He has the rivet gun, which can shoot from distance at a range of 3, so he's pretty solid there. He's going to roll 5 dice if he chooses to use the rivet gun, and he gets a bonus of an extra die because he has the controlled burst ability. So if he wanted to, he'd be rolling 6 dice, which is a pretty solid number. Now, the one thing to remember with this substance is the substance has a resistance of 3. That's right, 3. That's absolutely crazy. And I have to get past the monsters first before I can actually hit substance anyway. So I have to go through a regular attack against one of these guys before I even see or have a chance at hitting substance. So I think we're going to go ahead and try to knock this monster off. We might as well. It already has 1 damage on it, only needs 1 more. So this is a mass overkill attack for sure. But the other thing I could do is I could attack this particular monster up here, hoping to slow it down or stop it from moving. But at the end of the day, the focus really is on killing this substance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first off attack this guy, and we're going to be going after him. So the Ravenous here has no resistance. I only need 1 more hit to kill it. So let's go. This is going to be kind of a mass overkill type attack, but I do have 5 actions to spend, so might as well. This should be no problem. I say that, hopefully that it isn't. Oh my gosh, I barely got it. So I got 1 hit, which is just enough to kill this Ravenous. So the Ravenous has been removed. Good, which means now we can actually attack through to the substance. And again, remember, we don't want to wait long to be hitting the substance as hard as we can, but you can see based on this roll, if I continue to get rolls like that, my damage won't even get through. So this is where we're going to probably have to start taking sanity hits in order to see whether or not we can re-roll dice and things like that. We also just killed a Ravenous, so he will actually get a consciousness card because he has no sanity to flip, and the Ravenous is 1 up in the very top left-hand corner. So let's grab a consciousness card and hope it's something decent. So it's outbreak number 4. Have you ever seen a room bloom? How is it even possible? As we watched, this organic stuff started sprouting from the ceiling, the walls and the floor, erupting like bouquets of tentacles out of the intestines of some sea monster. They wrapped around Trevor's leg and jerked him off his feet. I tried freeing him as he started screaming. I yanked on his arm harder and harder, wrestling to pry him away from that stuff. But tendrils and lichen sprouted out of his mouth. You may heal 1 madness. Okay, well, I don't have a madness, so that's not going to help me right now. Okay, so what we're going to do now is focus an attack right on the substance, and I'm going to be using sanity in order to hit this guy, because I have to. We got to try to get damage through. Substance has a total health of 4, so I'm really hoping that I can get this through, but this is going to be a very, very tough attack. So one thing that I noticed, guys, that I just goofed up on, and I might have gotten it in my last rolls, I probably had more than 1 success. You'll see right here that I only needed to hit a 4 in order to be successful, so I probably said something silly like, oh, I've only got 1 success in this pile when I had some 4s in there possibly, so I actually got more damage than I thought. So let's be aware of the fact that I can hit on 4, 5, and 6. So here we go. This is where it's going to matter, especially going against the substance. So rolling away. Okay, check that out. We got 3 hits, so that's decent, but that just gets through his resistance. So the question becomes, how much more do I want to spend in order to, you know, actually attack through that resistance? So because it's a 50-50 roll, I'm going to spend a sanity. So I'm going to actually take a sanity in order to re-roll one of my dice, hoping for a 4, 5, or 6, because whatever I get here will actually get a damage through. So here we go. Nice. So we got a 4. That's 1 hit through. I'm also going to take another sanity to roll this particular die. No, that was a fail. And maybe I'll go 1 more, I think. I might even go all the way to re-roll this again. Ah, man. Should I go any further? No, that's probably, well, let's go 1 more. Let's go 1 more. I don't know how often I'm going to have a chance to get through his armor, so I gotta go nuts on this one, I think. So that's going to max out his sanity. This is the last reroll he's going to get. Ugh, nothing. Okay, so basically that's it for his second attack. So now we're going to go into his third action, which is rolling 6 dice again. He's full up on sanity now, so he cannot in any way, shape, or form actually take any more rerolls whatsoever. So he's just really hoping that he can land what he needs. But now we don't want to forget about the fact that I did get a number of hits there, so let's put that on the creature. And when I say a number of hits, I really mean 1 hit. So 1 damage, I'll just put it on the substance card or just beside it right here. Okay, so let's roll these dice and see if we can get past his resistance again. This is a seriously tough monster to try to hit. Okay, we got 3 successes again. 3 successes, and we're just shy of being able to get through. So again, the resistance completely blocks it. Oh, it's the worst. Let me just see through his cards here if there's anything I can do. This does not help us. Oh, this could be good. Eagle Eye. It says, when you attack with a gun, you may flip this card to gain a range, or you may discard this card at any time to immediately restore 3 sanity. Boom. That's what I'm doing. I'm using the Eagle Eye. This is being discarded, and I'm going to remove 3 of my sanity, allowing me to do some rerolls now. Haha. I knew there was a way out of this problem, so here we go. We're going to reroll some dice here. So I've already made it through his resistance. Here's hoping I can go further. That's crap. So we're going to take 1 sanity here to roll again. There we go. We got 1 through. Good. We'll take another sanity to roll the other one again. Yes. Perfect. Come on. Can we make it happen with the last sanity? Cross your fingers. Yes! Nice. We did it. Oh my gosh. I can't believe that actually happened. Wow, we did it, guys. We killed Substance. That's nuts. Okay, so this thing is gone. Blew it right off the board. That is fantastic. Worst situation, though, is we're going to take 3 from this monster, which is going to convert 3 of our sanity into madness, which as soon as that happens, you remove all of that madness from your character's board and you take a madness condition. So this shouldn't be very fun. Let's see what our first madness card is. Fumble Fingers. Oh, that sounds great. Your hands are twitching of their own accord. Frowning, you look down as they begin to spastically trembling, then shaking violently. You press them against yourself with no effect, dropping your weapon on the ground. You frantically fumble for the medkit strapped to your belt. You disconnect it successfully before dropping that too. You wince as you hear something shatter inside. Collapsing to the ground, you desperately try to maintain control. Your whole body is shaking now, and you have no idea how to make it stop. Choose one of your search cards to keep and discard the other. Okay, so we only have the healing syringe and we have the pistol. We also have the rivet gun. So out of the items that we can choose, it says choose one of your search cards to keep and discard the others. I'm keeping the rivet gun. The pistol and the healing syringe have to go. I got to keep the gun because the gun's going to help keep us alive. And this character does so well with the extra die. I have to lose these two. So that was kind of a nasty, nasty madness. So that madness card has now been resolved. Wow. Okay, so we are currently, he still has 2 more actions to go. He actually did really, really good there. We did, the one action was to kill the first Ravenous that was on him, and we did 2 subsequent attacks that full-on killed the Substance. So we'll take this out of here because that Substance died. Wow, I can't believe we did that. And we did that so quickly and easily. I guess it probably doesn't always happen so nicely, but he does have the ability now to start maybe doing hits on somebody else. So I am very, very concerned about this hysteria here because I don't want it to come through the door and actually be able to get to her or to us, because if it starts possessing a character, bad things happen. So I'd like to try to shoot this thing. There's 2 of them over here, but when they activate, they'll only get to here. So I think I want to shoot this one. I'll be shooting him again with Jarod right here in blue. He can actually make this because this is straight through and it's 2. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take another shot through at this hysteria. So he's going to go in with 6 dice. The hysteria has, what does it have here? It has 1 resistance and 2 damage. So I still need a decent hit in order to kill this thing. So what do we do here? Okay, we got it. 1, 2, 3. That's enough. It's gone. This is one of the reasons why I love this gun so much with this character. So we have to take 1 point of craziness, which we are going to now take this insanity, the last insanity that's on Jarod, and turn it to a madness. So there's that. So I don't get a consciousness card, but we did just deal with that, and I still have 1 more action to spend. So what else do I want to shoot? I'd love to try to kill this thing. There's 2 damage on it already, or is it just 1? Oh no, it's 2. So there's 2 damage on this thing. How much life does it have? It's stuck where it currently is. Oh, okay, you know what? I do want to hit that again because it has a life of 5, resistance of 2. I want to see if I can hit it. This guy won't get to me on the next turn. He'll only move to here, and it doesn't have range, so that's good. This guy's going to come after us, but I can have one of these guys deal with him from close range. Yeah, let's use his last action to take a shot at the Twisted. He's doing pretty good, so we might as well continue that streak. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So here we go. Let's see what we can do. Come on, Jarod. Oh, we got 4. That's a good hit. That's a good hit. So 4, his resistance is 2. So we actually get 2 damage through. Oh, we were 1 away. Oh, but I do have the ability to take sanity to re-roll. Let's do it. Let's take a sanity to re-roll. So I'm going to take 1 sanity to re-roll one of these dice. Boom. He's gone. So that Twisted is gone. Awesome. We're doing good now. Okay, so what we're going to do is now we take the 2 from the Twisted. So it's got a 2 in the corner. We currently only have 1 sanity because I rerolled just now. So basically for every point of horror that this monster will give us, if I don't have a sanity to flip for it, and I did flip 1, I still can gain consciousness cards. So I still can gain a consciousness card from Jarod, so we're going to grab one right now. And we got Excavation. We started work on the new Fisher today. I got word from high up, and I mean way high up, that they wanted us to try this spot. I don't know how far above my pay grade these instructions were issued from, but it almost seems as if they may have come from Miss White herself. The initial the exploratory surveys have revealed some dense deposits, but nothing that might hint at why this area is so important. It's almost like they're looking for something else, something big. That was Ronald Myers, the chief mining operator at the Kadath facility. It says you may draw one search card. Nice. So what search card do we get? Oh my gosh, we got the pistol that he fumbled around and dropped already. So we got another pistol for him. We don't really need that on him, but we got another pistol. So that is going to end his activation, and now we can move on to the next. So because Jarod is the hero of the day right now, Twisted doesn't even get to activate because it's dead. And it moves over to Arthur, who will have 4 actions to spend. Okay, I think I'm going to use Arthur to actually help out Samuel. We're going to kind of have like a little bit of a baton pass here with the codex. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have him trade from Jarod. So he's currently in the space with Jarod. He's going to take Jarod's codex token, and now Arthur has it. So that's 1 action. He's got 3 left, and he's going to run away. He's going to go 1, 2, and 3. Now if he lands here, he takes a sanity hit, which is unfortunate, but I'm going to do it anyway, because I want to progress and get this token moving. So it's going to be here, and that's actually going to end his turn. And the reason I wanted to stop him there is because I'm eventually going to have Samuel come through the door, grab it, and then head back the opposite way he came, because I'd really like the actual tram later to show up here. This is the least threatening tile currently, and this is where I'd like it to show up, but I mean, we're a ways off from that for sure. So what we're going to do now is, oh, yeah, that's perfect actually for his turn. So he's fully resolved. Let's go ahead and move the activation tracker to the next person or thing. So the next thing will be the Hysteria. So we're going to go boom, activate them. We've got a few of them on the board, so let's move over there and activate them. So these things are going to be coming out of their spawn zone and going 1, 2, and they're now into the room with the rest of us. They don't have ranged for their attack, so they're not going to be doing anything else. It just basically tries to get into the same area with everybody else. It does its special first, then it moves twice, and then it attacks. When it is really the special, it says if this Hysteria has possessed an investigator, that investigator takes wounds, is slowed, and this Hysteria's activation ends afterwards. Otherwise, you ignore the special. The special triggered back here, so nothing happened. They both move twice, and then they attack. And when they attack, they have the investigator. The investigator is possessed by this Hysteria at the end of the attack and is slowed. So currently, nobody's possessed. That doesn't happen. They're just moving closer. We're going to want to get rid of those things because they will definitely cause us some harm. And we're moving on to the next activation. The next one is going to be Samuel Smith with 5 actions. So as you can see, Samuel was heading his way back after grabbing the energy. He needs a codex token to go back to this pile. So he's going to actually come from this location and move into dry land on the opposite side for 1 action. So we're supposed to actually update the oxygen tracker before doing the movement for Samuel that we just did. So we're going to go ahead and tip this now to 2. So we're going to be going ahead now and doing a resistance roll to try to see whether or not we take any damage. I only get to roll 1 die against this to see if I can block any of the damage. And I do, but I'm still going to take 1 damage. So we're going to exchange one of his 1s in for a 2. And I'm actually going to exchange 2 of his 2s in for a 4. So he's got a total of 5. Actually, I can exchange those all in for a 5. There we go. So he's got 5 damage out of 10, but he's now ended his movement on dry areas. So now this entire thing goes right back up and is replenished all the way to 6 because he went from a flooded room all the way to into a room that is no longer flooded. So now what we're going to do is we're going to what do we do now? So I guess we're going to trade. So he moved 1. He's trading to take the codex token from Arthur. So now Samuel's in possession of this. That's 2 actions. He's going to go back underwater again for to the other side of the board. So let's jump over there. So 1 to enter into the water doesn't cost anything, but every action after that moving from a water space does. He moved out for 1 action, traded for 1 action, went back. So he's used 3 so far. He's going to go 4, and 5, and that's going to cost him 2 oxygen. So we're going to go ahead for his 6, and we're going to drop him down. Now remember, you do the oxygen cost. I'm doing it backwards. I'm doing it after I've moved. You're supposed to actually do the oxygen decrease before you actually take your action when you're in a space that's flooded. But I'm just basically ripping my way there as fast as possible. You can see I have an agony in this space, so I'm going to have to deal with it. It's going to attack me. I'm not going to be able to do much about it. I want to progress pretty fast. What I could do actually is I could choose to actually stay back 1 instead of going all the way in, so the agony will be here. Let's do that instead, so that way I don't actually get attacked by it. So in that case, we only spent 5 or 1 point of oxygen. I still have an extra action in there. So what can I do with that extra action? For his last action, I'm just going to pass on it. I'm actually not even going to use it. So we're just going to end his activation right there. Now we're going to activate Agony, which is one of the creatures. Actually, I shouldn't say there's one of the creatures. There's a number of these guys across the board, so we're going to be activating them all one at a time. There are 2 Agony on 2 different parts of this lower section. So this one right here is going to first move, which it does like this, and it's going to attack. But it doesn't have any range, so it cannot make that attack. It does say that when it does an attack, if it could have actually reached me, it would have rolled a 10-sided die, or that one of these larger dice here, and that would have been pretty bad. But in this case, nothing happens that way, so we don't have anything to worry about. Now, what we are going to have to worry about is other ones. So we've got this guy up here is going to move 1 to the yellow space, and again, can't attack, nobody there. Let's go to the other side of the board and see where the other one is moving. The 1 Agony on this side of the board will move 1, so it's going to actually come right through into here. We're now going to move the activation tracker to a blank space and the Ravenous. And the Ravenous are going to interact. There's 1 of them, so it's going to activate right now. So the Ravenous right here is going to activate. It could technically go after this investigator or this investigator. So one of them is Jarod Drake in the back, and this one is Felicia. So who has the least amount of damage so far? Jarod. So let's have him go after Jarod. So he's going to move 1 into there. He's now going to make his attack. So it says the investigator temporarily gains resistance -1 for each Ravenous in the same space. So that's bad. So I can only resist with 1 die. And the attack that's happening is 1 damage against me. So I only have 1 die to try to block this. I did not. So that's going to be 1 damage on Jarod. Too bad. Okay, and then that's finished activations for the Ravenous. At the tail end of the track, we have Felicia, who's going to activate for 4 actions now. Felicia has a Codex token. I really want to focus her on getting her out here. So let's go ahead and clear these guys out and make her way that way. So Felicia's going to actually move 1 space into the area with these guys, which is nasty. And this could be very scary, actually, depending on how this pans out. But they're only a resistance of 1 and their damage, or resistance of 1 and the hit points of 2. So we should be able to do this, especially using an axe, for instance, that does 2 damage every time it swings, which is pretty solid. She does have once per move, she can move for free. So I'm going to move 1 for free. Done. I can also heal an investigator for an action in my space, or exhaust to heal. Okay, well, later on if I want to heal more, I will think about that, but for now I'm okay. Even though she has 3 health hits, she's got 8 life, so I think she should be okay. So what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to do some attacking. So we're going to use the axe, and I'm going to attack one of these guys, and the axe is going to give me 2 dice, which really isn't a ton. It's a 50-50 chance, but she gets 2 damage on each one, so I should be able to make it through. I've got 3 actions, and this is the second action I'm using right here, so let's see how this one goes. Okay, so she got 1 hit, so basically the 2 damage goes through, 1 goes through the resistance, and the other actually impacts. So now we have 1 damage on one of the Hysteria, so I probably want to do that 1 more time, and then maybe I'd leave that space is probably the best thing to do. I got 1 more hit, so boom, I can actually take out one of them. So that worked out pretty good. Yes, that makes perfect sense. We'll take out the 1, and that Hysteria actually has a 1, so does she have any sanity on her? No, so I get to take a consciousness card. It says Outbreak number 10, and it says, I hear them coming for me. They prance down the corridors and skitter in the ducting, painting the walls in murals of blood. William has gone quite mad, and I can't stand to be a part of his horror show any longer. Leaving him will mean my death, but staying probably will too. They feed our fear. They feel our fear. They are our fear. So how could we ever hope to escape them for long? They have become as certain as oblivion. You may heal 1 madness. Ah, I don't have any madness on her. Too bad. So for my last action, I'm going to actually have her... I probably want to move her into here. No, let's move her back 1 into here. This is the only safe space for now. The last creature to activate is Putrid. Oh, what a wonderful thing. There's so many of these things. Let's go activate them all. So the Putrid over here is going to do a move and then an attack. It has a range of 1. So we'll move it and ha! Good thing I left that space because it cannot attack me. That was easy. There's another Putrid way up here, and it's going to come through the door, the yellow entrance marker, and pop out over here, which is no fun. Also, there was a slow token over here that was on the Twisted, but we killed it, so I'm just going to remove that now. Probably should have done that when we actually killed it, but I forgot to. But that's it. That is the full round of activations complete. Let's do the refresh phase. So let's take away all the extra actions that we give to our individuals. We're going to move this thing down, so the blank card is now going to end up at the end. Jarod is going first, Arthur's going next, Samuel's going next, blank. So this is really good. We've got a lot of people that are going to go early. It should help us out. So now we're just going to go ahead and shuffle these tokens up without looking. Basically the backs are facing me, and I'm just mixing them all up until I don't know what the heck I'm looking at anymore. Okay, that's good enough. And we're going to go 1 for Jarod, 2 for Arthur, 2 for Samuel, and 1 for Felicia, going into the next round for the activations, or number of actions. So this is the first round all the way through that we never actually picked up a code token from the center, so nothing needs to be replaced there. We can move into the next game turn. The Doom track's going to move up 1, so we're going to have another room devoured, as well as spawning for 3 when we get to that phase. So first off, we'll grab a room tile and find out what is going to be going under. It's room number 12. So let's find 12, flip it over. Actually, it's right here. So we'll be flipping that tile over right now. All right, so number 12 is right here. So we're just gonna remove the water tokens as well as the entrance marker. We're gonna flip this thing over and set it back down. So this room is now not so hot. Put our underwater tokens back in and our entrance marker back in. Now we're going to have to go ahead and put a spawn point here. We get to choose where we want to do it. I'm going to probably have the spawn point land... Ooh, this is a tough decision. I'm wondering whether we should put it further away from the door or not. Most of the enemies that are in this game don't have range except for Putrid. So let's put it here so that way we can get into this room and then make attacks through the doors. So that should make sense. And then what we're going to also do is now we're going to pull a devour effect here that's going to sit on this other tile, and we got a -1. Okay, so we got that all resolved. So card number 12 now is going to go on top of this deck like so, and we have resolved the devoured room. Now we're going to move into the spawn phase, where we're going to spawn 3 enemies. It's going to be nasty, so here we go. Agony starts us off. There's going to be 2 and 1. Going into, so 2 of them are going to be going into room 12, and we're going to have 1 of them going into room 3. Let's go ahead and get all of those miniatures ready and put them out on the game board. So the first room, number 12, is going to see 2 of these guys show up here. So that's not going to be fun. And now we're going to move over to room number 3. Room number 3 is way up at the top left-hand corner, and it's up here, so we'll have another Agony up in that area, and that's going to go ahead and resolve those 2 cards. So we're going to put them back in the order that they were drawn at the bottom of the deck. And we're going to discard that monster card. So we've resolved 1 spawn. The next spawn to come out is going to be another Twisted. This Twisted is going to be coming out in space number 8. Space number 8 is right over here, so that's no good. So another Twisted here. This is the second one in the game coming out into that space, so that's quickly resolved. We'll now take this and move it to the back and go to the next room. The next room that something will spawn at will be 7, and let's find out what it is. Oh, it's the epic monster again. It's coming around a second time. I believe that's both of the cards for that epic monster. That's unfortunate. Oh, that landed in the worst possible place. It's right in front of where Samuel is headed. Oh my goodness, that could not have gotten any worse. And with that, the spawn phase is over. We're going to now move into the activations. That was an absolutely brutal spawn phase. And thankfully, we do have 1 investigator that's going to go before substance, but I can tell you right now that it's looking like Samuel Smith's going to be a little bit of trouble being that close to that substance. That is definitely not going to work out so well for him. So first off, we're going to activate Jarod Drake. So let's find out what he's going to do with his 4 actions. So I definitely have a plan here for how we're going to handle the substance. We know that when it does activate after Jarod's turn, that it's going to basically come to the... We can choose which monster it basically consumes, and then it's going to kind of teleport across the board and take that particular character or monster's space. I want to leave this Ravenous alive for that purpose. I want to drag substance and have it come over here so we can handle it with multiple investigators versus have it standing in the way of Samuel over there. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave this Ravenous alive, mainly because it doesn't activate until about, well, many activations, in almost 10 or 11. So we're going to leave this thing alive, and I'm going to have Jarod actually focus on everybody else around here in terms of what he's going to target. He's got a putrid here, which is an issue. He does have a rivet gun that can shoot up to 3 away, so he can target this. He can also target this guy here, who also is going to be a problem for us if it gets too close to our space. It could jump on his head and possess him. And we've got these agonies, which are going to come around the corner here soon and start ripping at people. So he's kind of in a bad spot. And he's also losing a resistance if he happens to get attacked in this spot based on the devoured effect. So I don't really want to take too many attacks here. He may want to move into the center position now that he doesn't have a codex. He might even want to pick one up if he can. Sorry, not the spawn token, but the codex. We'll see what he does. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot the putrid. I actually want to stop that thing from moving, and I don't want it to get close to us. So I'm going to end up using the rivet gun against it. And this rivet gun here is going to allow me, with him, to roll 6 dice, which is good. It'll be slowed if I do hit it with some type of, if it takes at least 1 wound. He rolls, again, 6 dice with his attack, so that's pretty solid. So we'll do a first attack with that and see how it goes. So we'll get the 6 dice ready, and this putrid has a resistance of 1. So here goes. Let's see how this pans out. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3. Wow, we got 4 hits. That's actually really good. Let me double check to see whether or not I want to push that any higher. So that would actually put, whoa, that would actually put 3 damage on him. He has 1, the putrid has 1 resistance, so wow, that's actually really good. That was a really good roll. I'm debating whether I should push it any harder. He has 4 sanity that he could potentially take right now, but he's got 2 madness tokens on him right now, and if he gets 1 more, he's going to have to take a madness card. So there's that gamble too. I'd like to just blow this putrid away, to be honest, but I have other plans of what I want to do as well. Oh man, this is a tough one. Oh, so if we end up going through that, actually, you know what? That's exactly what we want to do. We want to clear that area out. Yeah, I want to kill the putrid. So let's do it. Let's risk it. Okay, so we're going to take 1 sanity token. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to re-roll one of these. Actually, do I really want to do that, or just want to try to attack him again? Maybe I won't take it. Maybe I'll just try to attack him again. The Hysteria doesn't activate until after Arthur. Can Arthur hit it? Yes. Could. Totally could with the rivet gun. 1, 2, 3... Yeah, so you know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to keep firing on this guy. So I'm not going to take the sanity. I'm actually just going to go ahead and take the damage. So 3 damage is going through against the putrid for the first attack. So I'm going to put a 3 damage token right next to it. And we're going to go ahead and roll this again. So we're going to go for another attack. So this is Jarod's second attack. Here we go. That was actually really bad. He got 1, 2, 3. So 2 get through. Oh my gosh. Oh no. 3 get through, sorry. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's right, but 2 get through because of the resistance. We need 1 more to kill it, so I'm going to take a sanity now so I don't have to burn another action in order to kill this thing, and hopefully it pans out. No! Okay, I'm taking another sanity. I refuse to mess this up. Come on. No! What are you doing? I'm going to continue. Oh, this could be bad. Yes! Okay, finally. Oh my gosh. So this thing is dead. The really bad news with me taking that much sanity to kill it is that I'm going to have to convert 2 of them to Doom, which instantly, and now I have 3, actually I have 4, so 3 of them are going to convert into a, not Doom, but Madness, sorry. And I'm thinking Arkham Horror in my head. So 3 of those are going to go away. We're going to grab a Madness card and resolve it. Oh my gosh. And then, actually, let me think about this. Yes. Yes, that makes sense. Glimpsing the future, looking out the porthole, you frown. There is something pushing through the murky depths, slowly coming into view through the dark and the slit. You motion for your team to join you, and together you peer into the deep. That's when you see it. The future unfolds before you, a sweeping vision that wraps across continents. You see the world in flames. Men and women scream in terror before ripping each other apart. Unholy horrors rise from the depths to attack humanity. This is the future, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. Each investigator exhausts a sanity. Ugh, that's bad. I've never had one like that before. So everybody's going to take a sanity token. So I'm just giving all those tokens to all of my individual people right now, which is not good. Okay, so we have sanity across all of them now. All right, that wasn't fun. We also killed that thing, so that's good. So we'll bring this gun back. He used 2 actions to do it. He's got 2 more. So the question is, do I just run away? Yeah, I think I'm just going to run away. I want to head him out this door towards the red. So he's got 2 more actions. I can get him into a safe spot right here. So let's do that. Let's go 1, 2, and now he's in here and he's kind of in a safe area. Okay, so that's going to end Jarod's turn. Now the substance is going to activate. So we move the activation marker to the substance, and it's time to move this thing with its special ability. So you guys know exactly what I'm doing with this one. I'm going to go ahead and have substance actually move all the way over here, activating its special. It's going to soak up this Ravenous as part of its cart. Now, so we have to actually kill this thing before we can hit substance, and now it is way over here in this area, leaving Samuel alone to get in to grab the other energy token, which I was trying to do originally before this crazy thing came back again. It just will not leave us alone. Okay, so that is going to resolve the substance special. Then it's going to move, which means it's going to move, oh dear. It's going to move to the closest investigator, which is going to be Felicia. So now it's in the middle spawn area of this tile. And it's going to attack. So it's going to attack me for 3. Now I have a resistance in here of 2. So I'm going to roll 2 dice and hoping to get really good results for my resistance. Nothing. So that's 3 damage. That is a problem. That is a heavy hit. And now our poor Felicia has 6 damage on her. She can take 8. That's not good. Although she does have some items which I might be able to make use of. We'll have to talk about that when it gets around to her turn. But the substance has gone ahead and finished its turn completely. So now we're going to take this marker. We're going to move it to Arthur, who's going to activate with 5 actions. So Arthur's going to activate now. We really need to get in there and help Felicia. She's not looking so hot at the moment. So Arthur, what are you going to do? Are you going to get in there with your ranged rivet gun, or are you going to go right in there with your ore cutter? This is one really cool weapon that I haven't used yet, but if I hit on 5 or 6, I actually do 4 damage, which is crazy, but I'm only rolling 2 dice, which is not the greatest. So what I'm thinking about doing here, well, that might be worth it. It might be worth the gamble. I can kill this thing if I land 2 successes on this, and I could keep taking sanity until I get it. He's already got 2 madness, which is not good. And he's got 2 sanity, which means he's only got 2 rerolls. It's not exactly the greatest, but you know what? I'm going to risk it because we really need to kill this thing. We can't have an elite monster running around willy-nilly on the board getting stronger and stronger. It needs to be killed as fast as possible. Oh yes, I forgot. I can't go straight through. I have to kill the Ravenous first. The Ravenous is going to suck up 2 damage. Oh no. So the Ravenous is 2, and the Twisted would need, or sorry, the Substance would need 7. I can't make enough with that ore cutter, so I'm actually going to change my mind. I'm going to have him go 1, 2, and we're going to use, instead of going all the way in, we're going to just use the rivet gun on him. So I'll have 3 actions to shoot him with the rivet gun, and we'll see how this goes. So first off, we're going to take 5 dice, which is not bad, and we're looking for anything 4 or higher as a hit. So here we go. So we got 1, 2. That actually was terrible. But wait a minute. On a Ravenous, that's perfect because that's actually the first thing we have to target. So boom, the Ravenous is dead. Now here's where things get sticky. So I kill the Ravenous. It hits me back for, with this number up in the top left-hand corner for 1, which means I'm going to flip over one of my sanities, which gives me a madness. Now what you guys can't see off screen is that Arthur has 3 madness, so I'm cashing those 3 madness in. We got to resolve a card now. It's called War Zone. You raise your weapon to attack the terror that is slowly, maliciously stalking you. As you do, your reality becomes a bright, white, hellish war zone. Explosions shake the earth below your feet as your best friend erupts in a shower of viscera. I'm probably mispronouncing that. You watch speechless as enemy soldiers breach the last line of defense. Without thinking, you open fire, watching as 1-2 of their heads pop like grapes in a microwave. It's too much for you to handle. Closing your eyes, you will it all away, and the dark horror moves in for the kill. You are weakened. Oh, that's not good. Not good at all. So what's really bad about that is the weakened token is basically going to screw me over for doing another attack, which is not what we wanted right now. So basically he has 2 actions left. If I wanted to attack right now, then I would burn this token, and then I'd only have, and I wouldn't be able to do an attack, and then I'd use my last action to make an attack. So that's really bad. Definitely wasn't what I wanted to happen. But you know what? I gotta try to do the ore cutter thing now. So let's just push it through. So here we go. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take this weakened token. We take that loss of an action for attacking, and now we're gonna use our last action to attack. We're no longer gonna use the rivet gun. We're instead gonna use the ore cutter. So the ore cutter is going to be... Oh, we can't. We cannot, because we're not in the same space. Oh, no. Okay, so in that case, you know what? I might just want to go for the hysteria, because it's going to activate next. So let's go after the hysteria. So let's go after this guy right here, who's 2 away. We'll use the rivet gun for this one. So it'll be 5 dice. In order to kill it, we just need 3 successes. So we should be able to make this happen. So we got 1, 2, we didn't get the 3rd, so I'm going to go ahead and take a sanity so I can reroll. Come on, give me that other success. Nope, that's not good. Give me another sanity. Come on. Yes, okay, so that thing is gone, and it's going to hit us back with its top left-hand little icon for 1. So one of my sanities is going to flip over to a madness. All right. Whew, okay, so... all done there. We cleaned up a little bit of the area. That giant monster is still around though, so that's no fun. And we have finished Arthur's turn, and next up we're going to activate another monster. So we're moving into an activation for the Twisted, which has come back on the board. So let's go over and see where that thing's headed. The Twisted has a pretty simple activation. It's going to move 1 as it tries to make its way out of the yellow entrance. And it tries to do an attack, but there's nobody around for it to attack. The next individual to activate is Samuel Smith. So let's go ahead and find out what he's doing with his 5 actions. Samuel is very, very focused on the mission, that's for sure. One thing that Samuel is carrying is a mutation syringe, which says after you perform a move, you may place 1 sanity token on this card to immediately perform another free move. And you cannot use this ability successfully. So I might want to do that depending on how close I am to getting out of here. We'll see. But I'm going to go ahead. He's got a codex, or not a codex. I keep saying codex because of Arkham Horror, so I do apologize. It's a code token, and he's going to go ahead and he's going to move 1. So this is going to, remember, I'm going to take down the air before I do the move. Then he's going to move again for another action. And now he's in here. And what do we do next? Well, I guess at this point we're going to go ahead and probably do an action to interact and exchange our code token in for some energy. So as another action, he's going to investigate, which again will cost him another wonderful piece of oxygen. And he's going to go ahead and boom, he exchanges in his code token, and boom, we just got 2 more energy onto tile number 30, which now has 5. And we need 12 to get this thing moving again. So we technically have 2 more actions remaining and potentially 3, but 3 won't even get him out even if I use the mutation syringe, so there's that. I do want to get him out of there because I don't want him to take any more damage. The code that he had is definitely gone, so I've removed that from his card. We're going to go ahead and we're going to have him move. Oh, if I move him here and then I move him here, he takes 2 oxygen hits, and then that agony is going to attack him for 2. I don't want, it's, I'd rather just hit the agony. We got to kill the stupid thing. So let's make an attack with our SMG and try to kill it. He does have 1 sanity, and agony will turn that into a madness though, sadly. But we got to kill this thing anyway because it'll hit us for 2, and that's bad. So let's go ahead and attack. It says you may exhaust 1 sanity to roll 2 additional dice. I don't think we need to do that because this thing's only 1 resistance and 1 HP to kill. So we get 5 dice looking for 5 or higher. So here we go. Oh, we can, once per activation, you may move a non-epic monster on the board 1 space towards you. So I could just drag him over here. So I'll do that. That's his special ability called Confronting the Darkness. So forget actually even bothering with that. Let's just run around him. So I'm basically doing that. That's not an action, so it doesn't cost any of his actual oxygen to do. Now we're going to actually move twice. 1, 2. And that is going to deplete his oxygen down from 2 down to 0. And now as he heads his way out, things are not going to be so good. I could have taken the mutation syringe at this point in order to get an extra movement, but really, it's not going to help me anyway. I don't know, I guess it does kind of help because he gets moving a little quicker. Maybe I should use it, actually. I have to place a sanity token on the... You know what, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's move a little quicker. So we're going to put a sanity token on the mutation syringe because we can use it up to 3 times, but only once kind of per round. You can't, sorry, you can't use it successively is what it says. You can't use it over and over again. So we'll use a sanity token to say that we used 1 of the 3 hits it has, plus we have to take 1 additional smack as we move again. And so we're moving to here, and now it's going to be a hit of 1, but we have the chance to roll a die to try to block that damage. So the dial shows 1 die, so we're going to roll 1 die. We need a success, a 5 or 6, to avoid taking any damage from being underwater. Ah, gross. We took a damage. That's no fun. So now he's up to 6 damage. That's no good. But he's a little bit closer to getting out of there, so I guess that's a positive. Next activation is going to be the Hysteria, and there's actually none on the board because we killed them all. Then it goes to a blank space, and then it goes to Agony, and there's a whole bunch of those to move around the board. So there's some Agony down here to activate. So the first one is this guy here. So they're going to move. They don't have range, so they're just going to go like this. 1 there. These 2 are going to head towards the entrance marker. And we also have a couple more Agony north of this. There is an Agony way up here at the yellow marker, which will come through to the other side, popping out over here. Like that. And we've got a couple more Agonies on the left side of the board we need to activate. Alright, so an Agony right here is going to pop into this area, and then we're going to have another Agony over here move up to here. This is the one that came through the entrance on the other side, so it doesn't go any further. There is no attacking that these Agonies can do on this activation. Alright, Felicia, it's your turn to go. You've got 4 actions. Let's see what you can do. So the good thing with Felicia is she has a really, really good weapon ability. Plus, she has that really cool move ability that would get her out of this room, or out of this area, not the room, but just out of this area if she wants to, because she has that 1 step ahead. She's also very much hurting for health. She has this sedative syringe here, and it says you may place 1 sanity token on this card at any time. If you do so until your next activation, after you kill a monster, discard the sanity tokens instead of flipping them. Discard this card when there are 3 sanity tokens on it. So that's kind of handy if you want to kind of control the situation with Madness. She also has a scalpel, but it does 2 damage on 3. Actually, well, the axe is a little bit better because the reason I like the axe is it can do the weakened effect, which means it would stop this thing from attacking, which is huge. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to... Oh, yeah, we're going to do some attacks, I think. So she's going to spend the majority of her turns here just swinging that axe like a crazy person. So she's going to be rolling 2 dice, which is not a ton. She gets 2 damage on each hit, but remember this thing has a resistance of 3, so that's actually really bad. She's only going to get, at best, she's only going to get 1 damage through on it, which is really not that much. I don't know if there's anything else that I can do. I have another action here that says you'll be fine. On her card it says heal 1 wound from investigator in your space. Alternatively, exhaust 1 sanity to roll a die and heal that die's roll divided by 2 rounded up wounds from that investigator instead. So I can exhaust a sanity to try to heal myself up. It might actually not be a bad idea to do that at the very, very end if my rolls are not helping me out at all. But she doesn't have much options here. Technically on the next go around, Felicia will go ahead of the Agonies, so I'm not really concerned about this guy here at all. So I should just swing away and hope for the best, or I could run away. No, I want to hit. I want to hit because weakened is important. At least 1 hit, right? And then maybe I can have her just book it out of there. She does have a code token, so it might make sense for her to get going. So here's the roll. All right, so we got 1 and nothing on that one. So she'd have to take a sanity to risk trying to get 1 damage on it. So I'm going to take 1 sanity. She's already got 1 on her. She can take up to 3. So here's 1 sanity more to reroll. Come on, this will give us 1 damage on it. Yes. Okay, so we got 1 damage on this thing. We need 4 in total. Oh, sorry, no, the resistance is... Oh, no, that's right. That's right. My apologies. So I'm getting 2 damage for each one of these, so it's a total of 4. Its resistance is 3, so only 1 gets through. All right, so that's not bad. We'll do another attack now. So a second attack. Oh, that was terrible. I'm not going to bother re-rolling any of that. We'll do a third attack now. That's a little better. So we got 1 hit, which gets through, that almost gets through the resistance. We'll now take another sanity to re-roll. And we're hoping for a hit here. No, 2. And I can't take any more sanity, so I'm stuck there. So that's not going to work. Yeah, so what to do now? So she does have 1 more action remaining, and I technically have a free move too. So I might just want to run away. I've already hit it for 1, which is not a ton, but at least I hit it for something. I think just running away makes sense. So I'm going to have her go 1, and she's going to use her free move to go into here, so she's safe, and she's with another investigator. I think that's what I'm going to do. And also, because I got the wound on there, I don't want to forget about the weaken token, which I get to put on this thing. So that's huge. It won't attack in the next go-around of its activation. And that's everything I want to do, I think, with Felicia's turn. Now we're going to move to the next one, which is the Ravenous. The Ravenous is actually off the board and gone. We've killed it off. So it goes to a blank right here, and then it's going to go to the Putrid, which is going to go ahead and activate. And there's one more Putrid left on the map right now. So the Putrid is way up in the top corner here. It was going to go ahead, it's going to move, and it's going to try to attack. It has a range of 1 if it's, let's see, after Putrid takes... Okay, so yes, there's no extra effects for range, so it'll just move to here. It's nowhere near any investigators to attack, so its action's over. And guys, that's it. That's the end of the activation phase. So let's move into the refresh phase. Time to refresh everything, so all these tokens are going to disappear. There is a code token in the middle of the starting place where the substance currently sits, so there won't be any refreshing of that. We're going to go ahead and cycle these along. So Arthur's now going to be going first, Samuel a blank space, Felicia a blank space, and then Jarod at the end. Take these markers here for extra actions, and we're going to shuffle them around, move them around, interchange them a little bit. There we go. And we're going to go ahead with Arthur for 1, Samuel for 1, Felicia for 2, and Jarod for 2. And that's going to be the refresh phase. The devour phase is going to see this marker move to the next devour space, which is going to take another room into the devoured state. It's going to be room 16. So let's find 16 and flip that thing over and put this on the top of that deck. Room 16 is exactly where Samuel is right now, actually, and that's it's not bad because I probably will never go back there again because I've already pulled 5 energy from that location, so that's not actually a bad one for it to pull. But actually now this entire side of the board has officially gone under, so there's no way that that there's any reason to ever come back to this particular location. It's completely under, and what I mean by not come back is essentially we should come back. But this whole right side of the board, what I mean is that it's all devoured now. Everything there is in red. So there's actually only 2 more tiles in the game that haven't sunk yet. So that's kind of scary. We're getting down to the end of the game for sure. So we've now flipped this over, we'll put Samuel back in the position he was in, and we're going to go ahead and we have to put a spawn token there. I'm going to have the spawn token be as far away as possible. So we'll just put it right here. We're going to take a new devoured effect, and it's going to be this guy right here, which is one of those nasty tokens, and it's a slowed token, but that's not going to take effect right now. And we are now done that. We're going to move into the spawning. We're spawning 3 enemies. Oh geez, this could be bad. Okay, so we got the Hysteria coming back for room 16, so that's going to be in here. I obviously didn't want to spawn them right next to me, but they are going to be right next to me, just not... it'd be silly of me to put this spawn marker in the same zone I am. But there's 2 of them in here. Let's find out where the other single one is going to go. It's going to go in 10. Where is 10? Is 10 close by? I think it is. That's 8. 10's way up top. Way up top. So I'm just going to grab one and we're going to put this one way up top. It's actually up where the Twisted is. So that is going to resolve this particular spawn card. We'll move to the next one. The next one is agonies. We're going to get 1 and 2. Oh my gosh. So 21 is going to get 1 agony. And we're going to need a few more of those because we actually have a ton of agonies on the board. The first agony is going to go over where 21 is on the far left there. So it's going to be coming at us from an angle. And it'll be right here. And then we have 2 agony that's going to show up in space number 2. Uh-oh, space number 2 is this one right here, so it's going to actually spawn right beside the substance, which is just adding even more fun into that room, sadly. So it's going to sit just like that. So we've gone ahead and we've actually put 1 agony here, but I've actually run out of agony miniatures from the base game, so I'm not going to be adding anything extra in. So what the rules state is when you run out of a particular enemy, you just go ahead based on the horror rating, which is in the top left-hand corner for these guys, which you consider 1, and just put any other monster in play that you wish. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a Ravenous in play because they're about the same. They're both 2 successful hits in order to kill, so it equals itself out. Just when you thought the fun was over, there's still another card to be drawn. It's going to be going into room number 6. Oh my gosh, what is it going to be? Oh my goodness, it's not just room 6. It's going to be room 6, 29, and 4. Wow, 6, 29, and 4 are all getting 1. 6, 29, and 4. Do we even have enough for all this is the question. The first one is going to be in 6. There's going to be 1 in 29 right behind Arthur. And finally, 1 is going to spawn in tile number 4. We got a lot of monsters to deal with. Activation is going to begin with Arthur with 4 actions to use. One thing I just noticed with Arthur is that he actually ended his last turn in a space with sanity devoured effect, so he needs to take a sanity. That's something I forgot to do, so I'm doing that now. So, this is not looking too good for Arthur. What is he going to do? Should he start just killing monsters like crazy? He doesn't have a codex token, so he can't really... There's no point in him leaving. He might as well sit there and just plug away at these guys. It might make sense now to use the Aura Cutter now that the substance doesn't have anything on it. He has 1 reroll to use at a certain point, which might be worth it. So let's go ahead and do the Ore Cutter. Let's try this. Let's see how this pans out. So it needs to be a 5 or 6. Obviously, the odds are not in my favor here. But you know what? Here's hoping things pan out for Arthur. He could be the hero here. So we're aiming for the substance. Come on, make it happen. Oh! Oh, that's a good roll. Okay, so we got 1 success, which is 4 damage. We need another one that's a success. Oh, do I risk my sanity now? I can take 1 sanity to re-roll this. I have to do it. I have to do it. So now I'm at max 4 sanity for him, and I'm re-rolling this. This is a huge roll. If I get this roll, that's 8 damage against him, and he's dead. The Ore Cutter literally cuts the substance in half, and the substance activates next, so this is a massive roll. No! Ugh. Okay, but we did get 4 through, and 4 gets past his resistance of 3, so it is going to damage him again for 1. The plus with this is that that particular... Well, I don't know. There's not too much of a plus there on that one, to be honest. Shoot. I can still keep rolling and hope for 2 successes. That's going to be really hard to do, but I think I'm... tough. So, yeah, that's a hard... It's a hard thing to do. Oh, and the other thing, guys, I just realized is that I have to be in that space in order to do that attack. So, sorry, I have to move in. I should have moved in before I made that attack. So, technically, I've spent 1 action to move in and 1 action to attack him. So that leaves Arthur with 2 more actions. So, if he's in that room and he's surrounded by that many guys, he probably shouldn't stay there long because he's going to get mobbed. The putrid, everyone's going to hit him like crazy. I think he just needs to run. Although I could... no, I shouldn't even pick up the codex token. There is a codex token underneath here, but I shouldn't take it because I can't run far enough away to avoid being absolutely mutilated. I need to move quickly. Shoot, that room just got completely overrun, which is not good. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually have... I'm going to have him go out to here where the other investigators are. So I'm going to have him go 1 and 2 for his final actions, I think, just to get him away from there, because it's kind of become overrun. He does have the rivet gun, which could be really useful for spraying a number of different guys. Yeah, that's a tough call. That's a tough call. The rivet gun's good. Like, range guns are great because you can basically pick all the targets you want to take damage with. in a particular space that you're attacking. The downside, though, is that if he was to spray these two and kill them, which he might be able to do with 2 actions, this guy's here, he'll jump in and attack him. The Putrid's going to come through and attack with range. Like, he shouldn't be in there. It's overrun at this point. So I think it makes sense for him to just run away like a coward. He does have a healing syringe. It says here you may place 1 sanity token on this card at any time. Cannot disrupt, blah, blah, blah. Discard it when there's 3 on it. So I could give this to someone who's hurting, like Felicia at some point, or have Felicia just take it from him to try to heal. That could be a good idea. But anyway, his activation is over. So now the substance is going to activate. So the first thing it does is it's special. So again, at this point, we're picking a monster that's close to any of our heroes. Currently, I could actually do it to like something like this, because it's close to this guy. That's actually not a bad idea. So maybe I'll do that actually. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have the substance move over to this area here. It's going to suck up one of these monsters into itself. That kind of frees up the codex token in the other room so we can go back in and get it and maybe clear that area back out. The one thing that's going to happen with substance is going to move, so it will move because I had weakened it, but that doesn't stop its movement. So let's go up and take a look at where the substance is now. So the substance is up near Samuel, which is actually good because maybe Samuel can plug away at this guy and kill him. But the weakened token's on him, but it still won't stop it from moving. So it's going to move into his space because he's the nearest guy. It's got 2 damage, but now it's going to try to attack, and this token stops him from being able to attack Samuel. Thank goodness. But at least it's freed up the other area, and that's going to do it for the substance's turn. The reason this works out perfectly is because Samuel activates next. The Hysteria would actually activate later on, and if there happened to be 1 on the substance's space, it would actually give the substance another activation. So the good thing is that Samuel is going next and can hopefully destroy this thing, or at least try to kill off the Hysteria that's on it to stop this thing from activating twice. So Samuel wants nothing to do with this thing, but at the same time, he wants to attack it, so he's going to be attacking it after. He's going to be trying to kill the Hysteria first, which has a resistance of 1 and damage of 2. Samuel is carrying a submachine gun, so he's going to go ahead and use that to start. Once per activation, he can move a non-epic monster on the board 1 space towards him, but he doesn't really want to do that with anybody right now. It says you may exhaust 1 sanity to ignore a monster's trap and or choose an investigator in your space to move with you. So there's that. He could avoid trap. Oh, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think that Arthur actually was trapped where he was. Let me just see here. Ravenous is a 1. Agony is a 3, and Substance is a 3. Actually, you know what? Arthur couldn't have left the space he was in, so let's correct that. So literally last turn, I had Arthur run away from the space that when he was sitting in here. He couldn't have done that. The trap value in that area is way too high. This is a 3, this is a 1, and the Substance was in here when his turn was going, so he would have needed to try to kill something in here. So we're going to kind of go back in time and have Arthur attack these 2, which is what he was planning on doing before. Hopefully he'll try to kill the Agony to lower the trap value so he can run away at least 1 space. So he's going to go target the Agony. We're kind of doing this in reverse, so I do apologize for that, but it's something I can correct. So the Rivet Gun gives him 5 dice, so he should be able to pull this off. The Agony needs 2 successes to kill it. Not the Ore Cutter, that's not what we're using right now. Rivet Gun, here we go. So that's 2 successes, and that is enough to kill off the Agony. So boom, that Agony is out of here, which would have lowered the trap value and allowing him to move to here, but then he'd take a damage. So we got to put a damage on him as well. So it's going to take his total damage up to 4, and then we've corrected his turn. We also don't want to forget about the fact that he would take sanity based on the horror of the Agony, which is 1. So 1 of his sanity would flip to a horror, or to a madness. So he's got 2 madness now and 3 sanity, and we're bumping right back to Samuel. Alright, so now that we got that squared away and got that corrected, Samuel's in an area with a trap value of 3, so he could definitely leave if he wanted to. He's got a 4, so he could definitely leave the area if he didn't want to be there. But as I mentioned, I really do want to hit this thing. So we actually made an attack, and we managed to get the 2, I believe, that we needed to kill it. Let me just double check. Oh no, it wasn't enough. That's right, it wasn't enough. We needed to have... We actually only hit it once, so which is enough to get past his resistance. We didn't have enough to actually kill it. So the question becomes, do I want to roll or take any more sanity in order to punch up my roll, or just try to attack again? I'm not going to take any more sanity. I'm just going to roll again, because I need to get a higher number than that. So here we go, rolling away. Much better, we got 3. So that's a kill. That's a straight kill. So the hysteria on the card is dead. He didn't, and does he have any sanity? He has 1. So, actually, sorry, he has 2. So, he has 1. He has 1, because 1's on his mutation syringe, and that does not count. So he has 1, and the hysteria is going to flip that 1 to a madness. So there we go. So no consciousness card for him. And we've cleared that off. He's used 2 actions. He's got... oh, no, only 2 left to use. He's not strong enough to be taken on that substance, so he should probably just get the heck out of there. So he's going to go through the door. He's going to go through the door and come out the other side. Now, one other thing I need to correct here is that there was a water token there, actually, and he made an attack in there twice. So technically, I've got to go ahead and check to see whether he takes any water damage while he was in there doing what he was doing. So let's see if he does. So first off, his marker here would have dropped this to do the first attack, and I would have to roll 1 die, and I would take a damage if I don't get a success. Okay, so that's 1 damage. Not good. And then it would go down again to the next one. So I'd roll another die. Still another damage for him. Oh my goodness. And then I went ahead and I moved into this area right here, and he's back replenished to full. So he's back up to 6. So he still took quite a bit of damage to get out of there. But now he's here. He's got 1 action remaining, and he's actually in a space that's going to hit him for 1 sanity too, which sucks. So he's really taking quite a beating right now. He's actually up to 8 damage. My guys are not looking as hot as they were earlier on, that's for sure. Things are getting a little aggressive. So I'm going to go ahead and attack this thing because I've got to get rid of it. So the SMG's coming out. I really got to hope for a good roll here because I cannot afford... well, I could afford to take some sanity to try to reroll, but I really would rather not. So here we go. Let's see what happens. So is that a hit? Nope, that's not a hit at all. So we got 1 through the resistance. We need 2 more. So I'd have to take... I have 3 sanity that I could take to reroll these to kill that thing, and I probably should now. Probably should. Oh man, this is gonna just wreck me. Oh, this is bad. Okay, so we're gonna take these 2. We're gonna take 1 sanity right now. Put it over here. And I'm actually going to use a health token instead of this on the mutation syringe. It's just off camera, but I actually am running out of these tokens. So we are basically going to take 1 reroll here. Come on. Yes. Okay. And then we're going to do it again. So we're going to take another sanity for Samuel to get that last success. No. Okay. So I'll take another sanity, which fills him up on sanity. And this is my last effort to try to kill this thing. No. Oh, I couldn't do it. So it ends up taking 2 damage, but not enough to kill it. Oh, that's such a pain. Okay, so 2 damage on this thing. It's definitely going to come after me, which is really upsetting. Okay, that's going to end Samuel's turn. And you know what, guys? I have more bad news. So first off, Samuel was in that spot originally, which wasn't this one. It was actually back in the other entrance marker. He made 2 attacks, which would technically take his drowning effect down twice, and then he made another move out of that zone. So he actually would have been at this. -4 and 2 rolls. So I have to do those right now, and this could actually kill him. So this is not good. So here we go, we're rolling. We need successes to keep him alive. Oh my gosh, he got 1 success. So he has 1 damage hitting him and 1 more to kill him. Wow, okay. I think he's in trouble. I think we're going to lose somebody here. Next activation is going to be for the Twisted, so they're going to move and attack. The Twisted is way up north on the board. So the Twisted is going to make 1 movement heading towards the yellow entrance marker. Next, we're going to move to a blank space and then to the Hysteria. And the good thing is we got rid of the one off the substance, so it will not be activating again, thank goodness. But there's a ton of these things on the board we have to activate now. And the one I'm most worried about is this one right here. So first off, it does its special. If this Hysteria has possessed an investigator, that investigator takes 2 wounds and is slowed if it's in a devoured space. And this Hysteria's activation ends thereafter, otherwise ignore this action. So we're ignoring that, good. So the first thing we'll do is move. So it's going to move into here. Done. It'll move again, but it doesn't need to. It's going to attack. The investigator is possessed by this Hysteria at the end of the attack and is slowed. So I also just gained a slowed token on him. I think I'm in trouble. I think at this point I am in serious trouble. There's another Hysteria way up here, so it's going to do its special. Nobody's in there. It's going to move twice, so 1 and 2, and it's going to go ahead and it's going to activate on him. That's unfortunate. So it looks like Arthur's also going to become possessed and is slowed as well. Oh dear. Not good. Okay, over here we have this monster, which is another Hysteria, and this is going to do its special. Then it's going to move once, and it's going to move twice. Oh no. Poor Samuel has 2 of them on him now, so he's possessed twice over, and of course you can't be slowed more than once, but that's really nasty. Regardless, he's got 2 of these guys on him he's going to have to deal with next turn, and he can't move as quickly as normal. Still, there is 2 more Hysteria to move and activate. This Hysteria right here is going to go 1 and then 2, and then this Hysteria here is going to go 1 and through the yellow all the way over here. That yellow one that just came across popped out over here, just so you guys know, through that entrance marker, and that is going to end the activations for the Hysterias. That was brutal. Next up, we're going to activate Felicia, who has 5 actions. Okay, so I think I'm going to have Felicia run into and through the entrance marker. She's going to run into a Hysteria and 2 Agony on the other side of that marker, and she's going to go in there swinging with her axe to try to take out as many of them as she possibly can. It's a decent weapon. It does 2 damage, which is enough to start doing some serious hits to these ones. So let's just go for it. So first action is a move, but it's free because she has the 1 step ahead. She's then going to run into water for the first time, which does not knock her oxygen down immediately. She's then going to go ahead and she's going to swing for the fences with an axe. That is going to cost her oxygen, so that's going to drop her down to 5. She's going to roll 2 dice, and then I'll assign damage afterwards. So let's actually change the camera over so you can see what she's dealing with. So this is currently what Felicia has to deal with. She doesn't have any rerolls. She's got all of her sanity filled up, which is terrible. She could rest. That's the only thing she can do, and it won't cause her to lose oxygen in these spaces. But I really do want to make a hit on these guys and try to kill some of the Agony. If I can knock some of the Agony out, which are only 2 damage. All I need is 2 successes, basically, or just 1 hit, really, with the axe. Then I can do some serious stuff here. Plus, it weakens. So we'll see how it goes. First roll, a 4 and a 6. So that's going to be 1 successful hit. So I'm going to distribute that to go against the first. I'll just pick an Agony here. I'm going to kill one of the Agony off. So that'll work out pretty good. So one of the Agonies is down. That's going to be 1 horror, which she's going to flip one of her horrors over to a madness. And she's going to continue swinging. So she's going to go for her, I guess it would be 1 move was free, 2nd move cost, and she attacked. So she has 2 more actions. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to... Actually, can she escape right now? That's a Hysteria and an Agony. She could, I think, because she's at 5. She might be able to move right now. So in terms of escaping with Felicia, she's in real big trouble. So first off, she normally has 5 on her card for escape, and the monsters here have 3 and a 2 for their trap values on both of these cards, leaving her, that's a total of 5. If they're the same as your escape value, you cannot leave the space, and on top of that, there's a devoured effect that minuses 1 away from my escape value, so really I only have a 4, so I definitely can't escape. So I really need to kill something else, and the risk with that is I could become possessed if I go after the Agony, or I could end up getting, yeah, you know what, I don't know what is the best thing to do here, but it might be wiser to try to go after, well, just swing at something, essentially, but she's going to take some damage, I think. So we're going to have her swing her axe, so we're here's hoping this is going to be, it's going to be a positive result. Oh, that was bad. Okay, so can she take any more sanity? Yes, I can re-roll once. So let's take 1 sanity, and I'm going to actually have to use a health token here in order to record that. So I'll make that a 2, and we'll take another sanity, and we're going to re-roll 1 and hope for something. Yes, okay, so we got enough to do a damage to somebody. So it makes more sense to hit the Agony because I can kill it outright with 2 damage. So yeah, so the Agony has been killed, which means it will give 1 horror to me. So I'm going to go ahead and flip one of my sanities over to a madness. So that's not good, but I was able to kill 1 off. I do have 1 more action remaining, so I'm probably just going to get the heck out of there. So I'm going to actually have her move, although she's going to become possessed anyway. Oh, this is so painful. You know what? She's got to go for it. She's got a Codex. I can't waste time. Let's go for it. So she's going to move there, which is going to be another hit of oxygen. So currently, let's just tally this up here. So she went one move and then a second move into here. And then from here, she did 2 attacks, which would be 2 oxygen down from 6. And then she just moved. So she's down to 3. All right, and she's now landed in this space, which has a spawn point, so she doesn't take any devoured effects. It's the end of her turn. That is as much as I can do with Felicia. Now all the agony are going to activate. So there's actually quite a few agony here. So this one right here is going to be moving and attacking, which is really just going to move it to here. We have agony all over the board on the other side. It's easier if I move the camera to that side of the board. So much agony over here. Okay, so first off, this one's going to go into here, which is going to then attack poor Arthur. So the attack says here, if it's in a devoured room, roll the 10-sided die, which is this. If it happens to, if I land on this symbol right here, this one, if I land that symbol, the investigator must either choose one, take a wound, or be paralyzed. Okay, that didn't happen, thank goodness. But I do take 2 damage anyway. So 2 damage comes through, but I get to try to resist it. So I get 2 dice to try to resist that damage. I resist 1 of them, so I only take 1 damage. So 1 damage goes on Arthur. That gives him a total of 5. I'm just exchanging out his damage. Whew, okay, that was fun. The next one to move is going to be this one here, so move to there. This one is going to go to here, to here. This one's going to move to here, and of course none of them are attacking, but they're getting closer. Next up, we move to a blank space, then we move to the Ravenous, and there is one Ravenous in play. Wow, Arthur is having a very, very bad day. So this Ravenous is here, it's going to move, so it's going to move from this space into this space as well. And from here, it's going to be an attack. So the investigator temporarily gains resistance -1. That's not good. It's an attack of 1, and for each Ravenous in the same space, So if there was a whole bunch of Ravenous, it would reduce his resistance down to basically nothing. But I get 1 die to roll to block. It says here, if they're in a devoured space, Ravenous gains resistance +1. Ooh, so they're harder to kill. Okay, actually, you know what, guys? I might have to apologize for that because previously in this video, I believe when I killed one of the Ravenous in the board in a devoured space, I might have forgotten that one. So that's one to be aware of, guys. Is that some of these cards, it's very, very hard sometimes. You'll miss this on occasion, but there's these sections at the bottom that have a devoured marker, and it means that that's always in effect. And sometimes it's only in effect when really the monster activates. But for the Ravenous, it actually is for their defense. It actually increases their resistance. That one's a tough one to remember, so I did make a mistake on that. So here we go. We're going to roll to try to block the Ravenous's 1 damage hit, and we didn't block it, so we're going to take a damage. Arthur's at 6 damage. We have everyone at this point now is within dangerous levels, like 2 away from dying for Arthur, 2 away from dying for Felicia. Jared's doing fantastic. Doesn't have a scratch on him, basically. 1 health. And then Samuel has 9 and has 10 health. So that's, I mean, we are close to death here. Another cool thing you can do, guys, you don't have to do this, but the game says when you're possessed. So in other words, technically, Arthur's possessed by this one. This actually comes off the game board and actually sits on him, but at the end of the day, the trap value still stands, and it doesn't really change the outcome of anything, but it's kind of cool because the whole idea is that they're basically trapped onto you. So Arthur would have this sitting on his game, but I'm not doing that, mainly because you guys wouldn't be able to actually see it, and I'd constantly have to keep going back and forth between the player boards, so I'm just leaving them there. We already know that Arthur's possessed, and we know that Samuel is definitely possessed, so we'll deal with those when they actually trigger. Okay, so that is going to be it for the Ravenous. Let's move on to the next activation. So here comes our hero, Jarod, who seems to do everything and literally has not a scratch on him. He's going to have to come back and help Arthur because Arthur is in serious trouble. Okay, so here we go with Jarod. Jarod needs to help this guy out. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot the Hysteria. I want to try to get this thing off of him. So we're going to be shooting with 6 dice and hoping for good things. So here we go. Oh man, I'm telling you, Jarod is literally a hero. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but bam, that's 3 hits, so gone. The Hysteria has been shot off the board. For Hysteria, I get 1. I have to flip one of my sanities. I have 2 sanities, so now one of them is turning into a madness. So I potentially could get a nasty madness card at some point here if I continue killing things, which I probably will. Next up, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to help out Felicia, I think. because now I believe, let me just think of the turn order here. So Arthur will end up at the back. Yikes. He's going to be in some serious trouble. So right now I still have 4 more actions. I could go 1 into here, 2 into the other room, and attack. So I could do 1 more attack here to help him. Which one's going to hit him for the most? Agony's hit for 2, plus they can actually add a wound or paralyze. And then the Ravenous are a little nicer. They're not as bad. So I'll probably try to kill the Agony. So let's go ahead and make a shot at the Agony. So we're going to target the Agony. And that's actually really good. The Rivet Gun, what does that do here? That is going to be... well, that's 1, 2, 3, so that's enough. Boom, he's gone. So this Agony is defeated, and the Agony is going to make me flip another Sanity, which means I take and discard now 3 Madness tokens, which you guys can't see, but I can. So those 3 Madness are removed, and we pull a Madness card and see what we get. We got Rupture. Okay, its belly throbs as its chest pulses, its arms and body twitching as it shambles step after step towards you. Its face is a pulp of swirled flesh. Its ribs interlock like teeth. With a wet ripping sound, the teeth open. Small skittering horrors spill and tumble out of the new ragged red mouth. All squeals and chitters as they race over each other like a living cascade of limbs and fangs. They are coming for you, down its legs and across the floor. Their new home is so near. Spawn 1 Husk in your space. If Husk is not used in the game, resolve another Madness card instead. Oh, okay, well, we're not using Husks that I'm aware of in this particular one, so we have to grab another Madness card. That's no fun. This one is called Infested. So it says, with a growing sense of horror, you realize that your gear is riddled with bugs. They scurry and skitter about, hatching from small eggs before setting to work eating anything within their reach. A teammate's scream confirms that you aren't the only one infested. You all rip off the infected gear and toss it away, slapping at the remaining insects as they scuttle over your body. What if you can't kill them all? What if they're already laid more eggs? What if they've already laid more eggs? What if those tiny feet and you feel all over your body aren't phantom sensations at all? Each investigator discards 1 search card. That's terrible. I hope I have the ability to do that. So I might have to get rid of my mutation syringe so I can keep Samuel's SMG. So that's got to go. So goodbye syringe. On Jarod's side, I'm going to get rid of his. So I'm getting rid of this for Samuel. I'm getting rid of the pistol for Jarod, and I'm getting rid of the scalpel for Felicia, and I'm going to get rid of the, I think, the ore cutter at this point. Even though it's a big, powerful gun, it hasn't really been useful except for the big bad bosses. But I've already killed that thing. Actually, sorry, I haven't killed that thing twice yet. But I'm gonna let it go because I think I have better guns that shoot more bullets than that, and I want the healing syringe and everything else I've got for Arthur. So that was terrible. I still have 3 actions to go, so I'm gonna leave this Ravenous with Arthur. He can handle that. I'm gonna go now 1, and I'm gonna pop through the entrance for 2. And the reason I did this because I want to kill this thing, because based on the turn order, when it changes next turn, Felicia would end up getting possessed by this thing. I don't want her to get possessed. I want her to get all the way to the end without any issue. So he's going to go ahead now. He's in Swatter. He's going to attack, which is going to reduce one of his oxygen levels down from 6 down to 5. He's going to make that attack. He's going to be using his rivet gun, and he's going to be rolling 6 dice against this thing, so it shouldn't be a problem. We'll see how this pans out. Oh man, way more than enough. Ba-boom! That thing is out of here. Jarod is literally the hero of this game. He just comes out of nowhere every time and cleans house. So Jarod now has, actually, you know, he has no sanity to flip over, so he is going to be able to take a consciousness card, which is a good card. It says Golden Dawn. 4 in the last days, the Savior will rise from the oceans, freeing mankind from the shackles of the baser dimensions. 5 men will bow to him as he brings his bright realm to the dark lands of flesh, peeling away the wasted shell of skin to reveal the marvelous consciousness once visible only in the exalted Evelations. 6, the enlightened, will be his heralds and re-arguing as he ushers in mankind's end and reshapes existence in the image of his glory. This is from the Salvation of Depths, a book of the Golden Dawn. Keep this card, discard this card at any time to roll 1 additional die. That's pretty cool. That's a useful card. I like that. So we get to keep that card. Awesome. His turn is officially over. The last monster to activate is the Putrid. And do we have any? We have 1. So let's activate it. Oh, Arthur, looks like you're in for more trouble. So here comes the Putrid. It's going to do a move, which is going to bring it into here. It is now in range of Arthur, because it's the only one that actually has range of 1. So it's going to do an attack. We're going to go ahead and roll a 10-sided die at the beginning of the attack. If we happen to get the Jaws symbol, which is this one right here, the investigator must discard 1 search card. So let's hope that doesn't happen. Oh, we got it. We got the double, too. Made it even worse. So, what can this is Arthur. What can Arthur remove? Well, I think I'm going to ditch the assault rifle because I enjoy the rivet gun more, I think. So the assault rifle is going to go. I also want to keep the healing syringe. And the attack now for the Putrid is going to be a 2. And Arthur is going to have to try to block this or he's going to die. So he's got to block one of these or he's in serious trouble. He didn't block it. Oh my gosh. Arthur's only saving grace is that he has 3 sanity, so he could take a sanity right now, which he's going to re-roll one of these dice and hope that this pans out for him. Not so much. Well, guys, that is the end of it. Arthur has gone down, and with that, that actually concludes our playthrough of Deep Madness. The lose conditions of the game state a losing condition of the chosen chapter is met. That's not what happened here. Or an investigator is killed. That is exactly what happened here. The devour marker either reaches the last space of the devouring track. We were about 3/4 the way down the track or so. We weren't doing too bad, and I think Felicia was literally a turn away, actually, from getting a 3, which would have given us a total of 8 energy. And then we just would have needed to get maybe 1 more 3 would have put us 11. I guess we kind of were probably 2 more tokens away of energy after Felicia grabbed that one in order to win. So things got a little out of control for us. And the final loss condition is there is no monsters left in the reserve, excluding any horror 0 monsters, when a monster needs to be spawned. So the loss condition that forced us to lose the game is the fact that Arthur just got full-on overrun in the central space. We tried to keep him alive. Probably should have stayed there. I was also thinking about Felicia. I didn't think that he would actually get taken out by, and I was actually kind of forgetting about the fact that he was a little bit screwed anyway because of the Putrid coming out of nowhere and hitting him from range. We didn't have anyone that could deal with that Putrid, so we were really in trouble. And the other thing that really messed with us is that Arthur went first this round, which made it very easy for him to get into a very bad situation that then just got worse and worse and worse as the monsters moved. But the game is very, very cool, and I'd really love to give this scenario another shot off camera to see if I can beat it, because once you become familiar with the mechanics of the scenario and how it works, it's a lot of fun to try to get past it. Now, I've played a couple of these scenarios already, and this was the one I chose for the playthrough, and I can't wait to play more of them because there is a ton of content for this game. But guys, that is going to wrap up the playthrough of Deep Madness. I can tell you 100% this is not an easy game. So if you're looking for a game that's going to constantly challenge you, this is definitely the game for you. It's not unfair, though. There's strategy involved in this game, and there's things you can do to mitigate the damage and the things that happen. And there are some points during this playthrough where I may have made a mistake, like forgotten a devour effect, or maybe I didn't use a particular action in the most efficient way. But that's kind of part of the learning and part of the experience of the game. As you play more and more, you'll become more in tune with the synergies of the characters, the movements, the actions, and what you should do in certain scenarios, when to attack, when not to attack, when to go for the objective, that type of thing. So it very much is a deceiving game, because when you first look at it, you think Zombicide-ish. But it is such a better and way more well-made game than Zombicide in terms of strategy. Zombicide is very, very entry-level. It's perfect for individuals that are new to the hobby and has a really nice appeal to it that I still enjoy. But if you're looking for a challenge for an experienced gamer, this is certainly something you can chew into, and it will take you quite a number of retries on a particular scenario to get past it. Unlike Zombicide, where you might lose once, but you'll win the other times, it's like a 50-50. This is probably like you're winning about 20% to 25% of the time, maybe 50% once you become even more familiar with the game and stuff like that. So it's very, very challenging. So thanks guys so much for watching. I appreciate all the help all the way through. Again, if I made any mistakes, let me know in the comments below. I'm sure I missed something because there's a lot of little things to keep track of. One of the biggest comments in the Board Game Geek that I've seen is that the devoured effect markers should be done differently, and I completely agree with that. I really think that everything else is very intuitive and easy to keep track of, but I find it's very easy to miss these. They're so small on the board that sometimes you don't even remember that they're there, and they have a big impact on the game. And in my opinion, these tokens should be either larger, they should be highlighted in a different color or something, so that when they're sitting on the board, they're more easily noticeable and less chance of them being missed. But regardless, that's my only gripe with the game. Besides that, it's very, very good. So thank you guys for watching. Appreciate all the support. And as always, keep on rolling solo.